You've been a professor, you've been a researcher, you've been an assistant secretary of defense, undersecretary of defense, deputy secretary of defense, secretary of defense, and now you're the director of the Belfer Center here at the Kennedy School. Why can't you hold down a job?
I was an investor and businessman in there,
there you go.
in there also. Well, when it comes to government service at the highest levels, the way the United States government works, people above a certain level are presidential appointees. That's the system. And what that means is that and this has its good side and its bad side, they turn over with administrations. So my very first job was not at that high level in the Pentagon, and I worked in the Reagan administration, a Republican administration. The first president, I'm not a very political person. I had no partisan affiliation while I was a physicist. The very first person who asked me to take a position for which a presidential appointment was required turned out to be a Democrat, Bill Clinton. I was happy to do that. I'm happy to be associated with the Democratic Party, but that's the way the system works. The good thing about that system is it tends to ventilate the government. And it means that people come in with fresh ideas, and I certainly always benefited from my time at Harvard when I did serve in government, because I was in touch with the newest and best in thinking about government management, international affairs, and so forth, and I could bring that in. The bad thing about that system is it leads to turnover and some degree of partisanship in the federal agencies, not so much in defense. Defense, and this was something was very important to me as Secretary of Defense, is still pretty much a nonpartisan
so that's activity. A little insulated from these sort of partisan cycles.
It is, but you need to work at it. And let me give you an example. We just came through a presidential campaign, 2016, which was very tumultuous. It went on forever. There was at one time a field of 15 candidates, and every single day, each one of them would say something. And in congressional testimony, when I sat there in front of the Congress or in a press conference, members of Congress or the press would try to get me to comment on. They'd say, candidate so-and-so said such and such today. What do you think of that? And I would say to them, Senator, Congressman, I'm not going to answer that because you framed it in terms of the presidential campaign and the presidential candidate. And it's important that we in the Department of Defense stand apart from politics. So I'm not going to answer your question. And moreover, I'm not going to allow the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's sitting next to me at the hearing table, to answer it either.
Right.
And after two or three times of punching right back that way, they stopped because they knew they just blew their question. I wasn't going to answer it. That was a very important thing to do. Defense isn't a game. It's not this is a very serious business. It's about protecting people. And we can't lay it open to the kinds of things that go on in presidential campaigns. And we can't allow the professional military to be politicized.